All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sean with the Hound. Hope everyone's doing well. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the over the weekend activity in fancy serial numbers that have sold on eBay. It's going to blow your mind. And this, ladies and gentlemen, represents a very small percentage of the actual volume of notes that was sold since about May 10th. All right, we're talking about a few hundred notes that have sold just in the last few days. I have picked out 15 or 16 here that I think is worth mentioning because some of the more typical fancy serial numbers, like your solids and your ladders and things like that, I mean, those are, of course, the big chase pieces that you're going to be on the lookout for, but there are a myriad of different other serial number patterns and combinations that other folks are looking for. Now, call it maybe affordability at this point, or maybe some other type of significance to that person. Really kind of hard to say, but there you're going to see that that some of the serial number patterns that we don't typically hold high on a pedestal are making a case. Now, a little while ago, we had Sam from Kingdom Currency on, who has kind of not only opened my eyes, but the collective universe of folks realized that there are a number of the lower end serial number patterns that sell for a good deal of money. We actually picked out a few of them here today, but go check out his eBay store. He also has a YouTube, and he also has a Facebook. He'll be doing a Patreon here pretty soon. But yeah, pretty incredible. So I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about some of the highlights from the last few days. Starting out with this gem right here. Some would say that this is a low serial number. Okay, I think four leading zeros into whatever four-digit serial number I think is okay. I mean, it has to be because it made the list. What's also pretty neat is that it has a star as well. So it's a star note and low serial number, and it's 7575. So it's a four-digit kind of like repeating pattern there. So there's a bunch of different combinations that previously I didn't really think too much about until now. And when we look at a note like this, I'm like, nah, it's just okay. Me, would I consider a low serial number? Yeah, kind of. Me, I like five leading zeros into a three-digit, similar to what I have here with this one. So that's serial number 491. But I guarantee you, in this particular condition, this note is probably not worth no more about 25, $30. You know, if it was a lot higher than that, it'd be worth a lot more. But that's just a note that I had found in circulation. So it's like it's easy money at that point. So this particular note right here ended up selling for $27.87 with 13 bids. So surprisingly, a note like this still very desirable among collectors that want interesting numerical type patterns like this one. So that's considered a low serial number. It's a star. The next one that we have here is what they call a four-digit repeater. All right, so we have 5,000, 5,000. It's actually a lot neater than it looks, and this is on a brand new 2017 A series $1 bill. Yes, the BEP is still producing notes to this day in 2023 with the series date 2017A. All right, and until one of those office people that are holding those offices, whether it's the Secretary of the Treasurer or what have you, until one of those leaves and we have a new one, it's going to continue to be the 2017A. We're probably pretty close to that. So this particular note right here in this serial number, and by the way, the note looks to be in pretty good shape. I would probably go as far as saying it's maybe a strong XF grade type note. And again, you're going to see the theme that every single note in today's list, none of them are graded. All right, these are the type of things, folks, that you could list yourself on eBay and do really well selling these that way. But this particular note right here 4-digit repeater. Sold for $39.09 with 14 bids. Okay, check that out. Our seller is relatively new with a feedback score of only 5. So, again, you could start out wherever you want to on these, but that's a pretty phenomenal sale there. The next one that we have here, there you go. That's our low serial number. So we have 5 leading zeros. 692 on this one. It's a 2013 Series $1 bill. The note is pretty well circulated. Appears to be a little bit of a hole here in the margin, right above Federal and Reserve. So there is a little bit of condition issue there. But overall, pretty decent note. It has some pretty significant soiling on the reverse. This particular note ended up selling as a buy it now for $39.99. And again, this is something that you folks can do yourself by either selling it as a regular auction where people are allowed to bid up on the item, or you can put it up as a buy it now and just let it sit. If you're not like in a hurry to get money in your pocket, then just go ahead and do this. It's actually going to bode a little bit better for you. They will sell eventually. Fancy serial number notes that are legit typically have kind of like a 10 to 14 day sales cycle, as in they don't spend no more than about 2 weeks online if priced appropriately. $39.99 is priced appropriately. But again, folks, look at your paper money because you never know. You might be spending $1 bill that could be worth $40. Next one that we have here, really neat. Now, this is what they call a true binary, which is made up of zeros and ones. But the word binary has been used for quite a while to help describe any two numbers in a serial number. All right, so in the case of this one, zeros and ones, of course, this is the most desirable type of binary that you could find. Probably sevens and eights would be a close second, but because this is a true binary, by definition, this is the one that's worth the most. Plus, it's also 6 in a row, or 6 of a kind once as well, which is pretty significant. This is, I believe, a 1974 Series 1. All right, but again, the same rules still apply. It doesn't matter if it's a 74 or a newer 2017. This one right here in auction sold for $50.11 with 17 bids for a note that was pulled out of circulation. So make what you want to do with that. I think that's a phenomenal sale for something like that. Next one that we have here. Now, this is much more like it. Very low serial number 72. And we have 6 leading zeros on this non-colorized older generation $5 bill. It's a 1999 series. These are collected, the low 2-digit serial numbers, because they also signify a birth year to some folks. So someone who was born in 72 might actually find this as a great gift to buy for that person. And overall, low serial numbers are extremely desirable in today's market. Whether it's for someone who has a birth year of 1972 or if they just collect these notes. All right. So the overall general condition of this piece is in pretty good shape, albeit it's a little bit miscut. Which is, it's fine. It's within BEP tolerances. This particular note right here is sold for $142.50 with 23 total bids. Beautiful note. The seller made mention that it's choice uncirculated on this one. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a $5 bill that's about 20 years old or a note that you had just found today that bears the most recent date of a series. If it's a low serial number like that, rest assured, it will sell for a lot of money. As much as this, if not maybe more. You just never know. Next one that we have here, another low serial number, this time on a 2009 Series $1 bill. We have serial number 54. All right, another low number here. And this one shows a considerable amount more of circulation wear. You could see easily a center fold in there, a couple corner folds in the mix as well. This one right here, I mean, check that out, guys. $112.50. You know, it's like an easy C note and up. Where it gets even more pricey is when we get into like the 20s and teens for a low serial number. And then once you get into single digits, guys, man, those things take off. And normally those would be like a $300 to $500 note, even in this condition that you see here. So very nice sell, well done. Again, you're going to see all of the auction listings will have the dates in which they sold for. Like this one was on May 13th, so 2 days ago. The next one that we have here, there you go. There's your binary. Not only that, sevens and eights, two of the most well collected numbers for luck. So not only here in the United States, but abroad as well. In China, they see eights as a very lucky number in culture. So I've sold a number of notes overseas to these folks and have done really well. So keep that in mind. Sevens and eights and ones are the most popular. But also, this particular one is a radar as well. So it reads the same way through the first four numbers and then backwards as you read the rest of the serial number. All right, so it's also called a palindrome as well. This one's showing considerable amount of circulation wear, not to mention the black ink here from when the teller takes a marker across the top to mark them. But overall, this one right here ended up selling for $42. In this condition, guys, you take what you can get, and it's always going to be a lot more than you think they're worth. All right. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, it's a $10 bill right there." No, not quite. Even in that condition, $42 is a very respectable amount of cash for that note. So well done there on that. And that's with 18 bins, by the way. We have a true binary, another one here, this time on a star note, ladies and gentlemen, a 2017 series $1 bill. You're kind of seeing the trend here that $1 bills sell really well because they're a low denomination. So you're going to make more net profit selling a fancy serial number on a $1 bill than you would on much higher denominations. All right. So this one right here, true binary, zeros and ones on a star note. $70 is what this one sold for with 17 bits. And again, May 13th is the date on that one. Coming up next, speaking of high denominations, we have this $100 bill, but check out that serial number pattern. Fours and threes, so it's a binary, it's a radar, but because you have six of a kind of a number in the middle with bookend single digits that are the same, they are calling this a super radar. It's one of the more well-collected serial number patterns. And even on said $100 bill, all right, which looks to be in pretty good shape, although I can tell it's circulated a little bit. It's got some soiling along the margins there. There's a little bit of a back image there with the centerfold. This particular one sold for $142.50. Now, here's the deal. If this serial number was on a $1, $2, or $5 bill, what if I told you it would have sold for the same amount of money? Isn't that criminal? But it's really all common sense, you know, because you have a high denomination note. It's already a huge investment to hold on to it. And the people that want to collect into that particular note, they have to realize that it is a $100 bill. So, you know, at the end of the day, this person probably made net $25 profit, which doesn't seem like a whole lot for just a really dynamite serial number pattern, and that's super radar. But you guys have a big idea of, I mean, certainly I wouldn't toss this back. If I found a $100 bill with that serial number, I wouldn't toss it back. I would certainly keep it for myself or flip it, but it is a high denom. All right, so we have our first 7 in a row serial number here. We have 7 sixes, and some would say, well, sixes are not very lucky at all, right? You know, 3 sixes. It's like the whole stigma surrounding this number. When in reality, you know, it's like an angel number. If you guys read into that numerology and all that stuff, sixes are still an angel number, and when we flip the note over, this one is pretty well loved, man. This thing's a beater. Even has a pretty nice sized tear here at the top margin. So even one like that, I mean, a best offer was accepted. What we're going to do is do 130 point so that way you guys could see how much this one sold for. So this is normally a website I would use for like sports cards. And so is a lot of other people. So when you're in there, you go to search eBay sales. Let's see, is it this one here? It is. So I'll just copy and paste everything from the, or copy, the listing title there. And then I will paste it into here. And we're going to get our data, which we don't. So let's see, we got to get rid of the comma there. Let's get rid of the dollar symbol. Get rid of that there, and let's see if that generates better. There you go. So that beat up note with the tear sold for $130. So that is a pretty substantial amount of money for that. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're looking at these. Just because a note is pretty beat up and would appear like it's not collectible at all, it'll surprise the heck out of you. Like this one here, $130 surprises most people. So here's a fringy kind of like for the longest time I would say these were spenders, okay, but you might want to kind of change that up a little bit because we have quad pairs is what these are called. So it's 11, 33, 00, 77. So when they read like that, it could be 22, 55, 11, 22. All right, that's another example of quad pairs. But here we go on a 2013 $1 bill. So relatively recent date example here. This one sold for $20, 20 times face. Again, this is the type of serial number pattern that is only relevant on a $1 bill. If you had found this on a 20, you spend the 20, all right? You don't try and sell it. You're probably not going to get anything for it. So again, the lower the denominations, you could get away with selling some more of these minor level serial numbers, these fancies. So something to keep in mind. Next one that we have here, we have a 7 of a kind twos. It's not 7 in a row because we have that 3 interrupter in the middle of the serial number, so it's just a 7 of a kind on a $20 bill. So we have a little bit higher denom here on this one. Doesn't really make a ton of difference, and it's pretty well circulated. $99 right there, 31 bids. So yeah, I mean that's pretty significant. Again, would I toss this back? Heck no. I would keep it, resell it, and reap the rewards of notes of this caliber on the secondary market. Next one that we have here. Okay, so here's another one as well that back in the day I would say just spend it because it's not a 7 of a kind and it's not a solid 8 of a kind. But we have a 6 in a row twos or a 6 of a kind. They're kind of like one and the same. Or someone would say, oh, this is a trinary, which is another type of fancy serial number pattern that's very fringy as well, kind of like 50% of the people love them, 50% of the people don't care for them at all. But this one right here, this one's legit, all right, and it's on a note that is pretty nice. Okay, it looks uncirculated. It's a 2006 $1 bill. This one ended up selling surprisingly for $41, and that's with 16 bids. And this was just yesterday too, so very recent sales activity on this, and that same seller had sold a few of them that were 6 of a kind or 6 in a row serial numbers and had done really well. So there you go. That's a pretty good example of that. Our first super repeater. So you have 2 numbers that are repeated 4 times on the serial number, 9292, and then all the way down the line. Again, not a pretty note. This thing is rough, to say the least. And, as neat as this serial number is, it did go unnoticed for quite some time. 2013 Series 1, you can see a couple splits and tears here on the bottom. You have all of this wallet soiling is what I call it, and it's just in bad shape. But again, when you take something like that, normally this note in uncirculated condition would be $150 to $200. Heck, take your $38 and run, folks, because that's a really good amount of money for a note that is so far gone on a condition level. But that serial number, again, props up the overall value of it. We also have this one here, which is a true binary super repeater. Really cool 2017 series, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, all the way across. Relatively newer note, and again, this note's in pretty decent shape, although it does show circulation wear. Again, another really crazy fancy serial number that went unnoticed for a few years. This one sold for a best offer, and we're going to check that here in a second, because I know you guys are interested in finding out what that. I mean, $269 starting price is where it was at. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and remove the 10 because they don't. This site doesn't do very well with special characters. So I'll even take out the $1 symbol there. I think that's it. Yep. So there you go. $194. We'll just call it $200. Wow, that's a pretty good sale right there for a true binary super repeater. And a note is circulated. So again, that's pretty well done right there. So again, another thing to be on the lookout for. If you're not paying attention to what's printed on your money, you might be throwing away hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And then our final highlight of the day has to be this 1977 $5 bill. There you go. Solid sevens, guys. On a note that had circulated for quite a while. Now, this was probably pulled out of change a long time ago, admittedly. What's cool is it's a 1977 Series 5 with sevens. So it's got sevens plastered all up and down this note from the series date to the serial number. And again, it's not the prettiest example. The pretty ones sell for 5 figures. So where does this one lie? And surprisingly, I think it was a little bit of a bargain. $1,400 for this one. Again, it sold for $1,400 as a buy it now. So maybe the seller had it on for way too cheap. I don't know. But easily this could have been like a $3,000 note the way it sits. And that's my humble opinion in the matter because I've monitored the market for these particular collectible notes. And yeah, you just don't see solid sevens sell for under that. So this is a pretty big deal right here, and this thing is just very neat. So there you go. That's kind of like your rundown of all of the really cool fancy serial numbers. Again, it's an overall general market look at these things. It's quite phenomenal how much these notes sell for. So when you're going through your cash before you hand them over to the cashier for anything that you're buying, take a quick look at them. Make sure that you're not tossing something away that would have a lot more value. So, yeah, there you go. That's our Monday morning market kind of look at fancy serial numbers. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. This is a very fun collectible sector of numismatics that is growing by each month. And a lot more attention is being paid toward this part of the hobby. So that's it. I'm Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe today on this video if you enjoy the content. And thank you guys again. I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck in all of your hunting endeavors. And go out there and get them. All right. I'll see you guys. Peace.